Welcome back to this segment of Ethnic Health America. In this segment, we're going to talk about obesity with pediatrician Dr. Gary Bean. Dr. Bean practices in the Oakland Bay Area and has a special interest in adolescents and nutrition. So thank you for joining us. You know, I want to start out with kind of an observation. Obesity epidemic in our children. That to me means that I should, and when we say epidemic, I should be falling all over obese children. Now I see some, but is in fact there an epidemic of obesity in our children?
Well, the concern, I think, is that we're seeing certainly more children, and we aren't that are having difficulty with managing their weight, and that the number of children that we're seeing is increasing very dramatically, and has increased very dramatically over the past 15 or 20 years, and there doesn't seem to be any end to it.
Now, what do you think is the root cause?
Well, I think there are a number of things. I think that there are poor choices in terms of food availabilities in many of the areas that we live in. And I think there's also an issue of people don't know how to prepare food correctly. And I also think that people have lost the ability, or need to reclaim, should I say, the ability to kind of manage their food intake, you know, not only in acquiring food, but in terms of deciding or figuring out how much is, at what point am I actually full? When should I stop eating? People have just lost a lot of their skills.
You know, what kind of bothers me a little bit is that when I was growing up, you know, we didn't have discussions on nutrition, and we didn't have gardens in the areas where I were. We still had some of the beginnings of the fast food epidemic. And what always challenges me with parents is that, you know, a 4-year-old, he don't have no money. He can't drive to McDonald's. So that when you start these bad habits, I think the parents have to take responsibility.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I agree with you. The children don't have jobs. They don't have access to any foods.
Can't get behind the wheel and drive.
There you go.
Right.
You know, basically when they acquire food, it is that which is in the house. And so you're absolutely right. It does have to start with the parents, not only in terms of food preparation, but in terms of giving the child an idea of what is a healthy amount of food actually to eat, that, you know, to be able to say to the child, you're full, or to start off with smaller portions and then eat until you're full. And also the food choices that we have in the house. There are, you know, a lot of foods that just aren't fresh. There are many canned foods certainly that are available. And also, again, you know, parents have given up the ability to prepare food under the guise of they're too busy, they don't have time, I'll prepare something and the child doesn't like it, so why not just give him McDonald's, or why not just give him or her Subway? There's certainly that nutrition piece. The other piece is that exercise is something that we're missing for the most part, that many children's exercise is basically with their thumbs, you know, and looking at a TV screen. Kids are not getting outside and enjoying, you know, the benefits of being outside and the activity that should come along with it.
Well, you know what's paradoxical about that is that you know, children are more regulated than when I was growing up. You know, my mother used to send us out to play.
Right.
She didn't say go out and play this or that. You just go out to play, and then and then you play till it's dark, and then you come in. And sometimes she'd have to call you 2 or 3 times. I don't think that, I mean, I know that people are more concerned about predators and the whole deal. Sure. But I think there were predators then. I mean, so, I mean, my feeling, they were out there. I just think that we don't have the out-to-play mentality now. Our children are in daycare and these schools, and they go to the jungle gym and all these other organized places, but they don't just get a chance to play in a regular organized environment, unorganized environment. Right. Now, you've integrated nutrition into your practice. Yes. Tell us how you've done that.
Well, what we've done is, as part of certainly of our well-child visits, you know, we spend a fair amount of time, at least 30–40% of the time, talking about nutrition, trying to encourage people to eat in healthier ways, and really examining what their dietary history is. We've taken the next step, particularly geared to our patients who are overweight and obese, of developing a nutrition program that we're going to be expanding upon soon, where we're actually bringing in nutritionists as well as chefs to kind of retrain people or refine or improve their skills in terms of food preparation.
And when you have these kinds of experts, one of the things that people don't realize, I think, in the healthcare system is that we really can't get these kinds of people ordinarily.
Right.
So that having that resource. Now, have you got a garden?
Oh, yes.
And
Chickens.
Oh, no. You haven't gone that far.
Oh, yeah.
You got gardens and chickens?
Oh, yeah.
So you're a chicken vegetarian?
Yes. Yeah,
Right.
overlapping.
Would you recommend that people consider gardens, and how would you recommend that people make good food choices in view of the fact that so many of these organic foods are more expensive?
Well, much of it depends upon where you're acquiring those foods in terms of, but I do think that people should avail themselves of farmers markets, because I do believe not only is the quality of many of the foods in the farmers markets outstanding, but they're at very, very reasonable prices as well. Because again, the farmers don't have to deal with the overhead issues that many of the box stores like the Trader Joe's and the Whole Foods may have. Not saying those aren't excellent stores, it's just that they have attendant costs kind of associated with keeping the foods in that setting there, increasing the cost of the foods. But back to having a garden, the garden doesn't have to be a huge thing. It can be just a small plot on your patio. If you live in an apartment or in a condominium, I mean, you can grow tomatoes, you can grow lettuce, and these things are not difficult to do. And I think that for the child, for them to appreciate that a lettuce isn't grown in a bag, that it actually comes out of the ground and it's fine to pull the leaves off and it won't hurt you, I think is an important thing to kind of convey.
But you get into that old McDonald territory when you get chickens now. You start raising chickens in the middle of the city.
Oh, yeah.
That's old McDonald.
Right here in Oakland.
Very quickly, what about weight loss diets? Organized weight loss programs, children who are obese. What is your philosophy of?
Well, I believe that certainly there may be a setting for that, but I think that what we're trying to get across is a lifestyle that is going to last for a long period of time. Everybody can't afford a 24-hour fitness. Everybody can't afford a membership to the YMCA. What we're trying to encourage are things that you can do. Basically you can sit and do isometric exercises with like a tomato can sitting at home. I'm encouraging you to get up out of your chair and walk around the block at your home.
All right. Well, Dr. Bean, you are certainly to be congratulated for your interest in nutrition and for taking the extra steps in our community to give people the tools that they need to be healthy. But those chickens, that might be a bit much. All right. We'll be right back after this break.